you might not have noticed it. It was revealed when YNW Melly's bonds were actually released. YNW was the first to reveal that Melly had been given a bond for one of his 6 charges, which makes it quite concerning. He had spent 2,295 days in jail without a bond or a guilty charge, despite a previous mistrial. As Melly's $500,000 bond documents were released inside the courtroom, his mother even spoke outside the building with great excitement.
We just still praying. I know I said I would I'll keep everybody updated with what's happening. I know right now we're waiting. So basically the judge is going to do, I guess, a written order. So we're just waiting, and that order can come any minute, or it could come tomorrow. I don't know. So we're just waiting. We're just waiting. So everybody just keep praying, keep having faith. Oh, Tessa, stop. I've been crying too. It's been a long time coming, you know.
The judge would inform him that his one bond had been granted, and he would be observed entering the courthouse because of his bond package.
Good morning, this is on State of Florida versus Jamel Demons. President is Mr. Demons. Mr. Demons, can you hear us?
The contract would eventually be drafted by lawyers, but Melly's legal team proposed placing an unclear bond that would be paid $300 by his record company if it was passed. They also hired round-the-clock security to watch Melly and assured the judge that he would be under home arrest and wear an ankle monitor. Good enough that a rapper wrote, "I feel that boy Melly is coming home." Eventually, the judge will ask the prosecution if they have a defense before Melly is formally released from confinement. At this moment, they did something immensely disturbing. The main characters are Melly's ex-girlfriend Mariah Hamilton and YNW Portland. The prosecution would file documents for one horrifying reason: to try Melly and Portland together at the next trial.
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. It's just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
Nowadays, it's widely accepted. If YNW Portland knows he didn't do this crime, he can't just sit there and do nothing except spend his time in prison. This makes him more likely to blame YNW Melly later on. But the things Melly's lawyers did at the first trial, you don't know that on other occasions, Melly's lawyers have tried to hold Portland accountable for the whole tragedy.
Those were his lives. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with 2 bodies, a car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
Since YNW Melly's own lawyer is revealing that YNW Portland was the one who was lying to the federal government and that he was the one with powder residue on his hands from handling a pistol, they even brought in a forensic scientist to conceal the fatalities and provide information regarding the powder residue.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of residue and two component particles. And the left hand contained one particle characteristic of residue and one two-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was residue present on the hands.
This is the sole reason YNW Borland hasn't written anything on social media since Melly's first trial, and it truly irritates him. Melly's mistrial was reported on the same day that it was made public, and WW Borland posted a mysterious tweet about it. Mind games don't work on people like me, he would add, using a handshake emoji as if he were agreeing to a deal. It is probable that Borland's own lawyers instructed him to keep quiet until Melly was formally convicted, since the prosecutor wants both Borland and Mariah Hamilton to flip against Melly. Mariah Hamilton was arrested lately for not showing up for Melly's first trial.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
With the judge's help, she was now able to consent to being released from custody. "Thank you, my village. I love you all so much," she would write on Facebook. "My plan, not God's." The judge told her that if she agreed to testify against Melly, she could leave. It was immediately taken by her. There is bad news for YW Melly, because Mariah's iCloud account included disturbing evidence that Melly was forced to not testify. This is called witness tampering. Melly faces a life sentence in prison, which is a terrifying prospect, regardless of whether she is proven guilty of removing Sack, Chaser, and Juvie.
The state filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
Melly's present case has nothing to do with the witness tampering case, but the feds have banned him from using a phone in jail for almost a year since he was caught tampering with jail phones. When things got really bad, his mother even went on to interview him and blamed the county jail for not giving Melly a phone or even mail.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
YNW Melly has been prohibited if it is proven that they were tampering with witnesses by utilizing jail phones. If the feds didn't have the evidence to support the allegations of witness tampering, they would face a $1 million lawsuit for preventing Melly from using the jail phones. That's the terrifying part. Nevertheless, Melly's attorneys were able to defend him at this point, explaining to the judge why he ought to be freed from custody. His mother's interview started with her stating that it is unlawful for him to be treated like a human being while incarcerated.
When you saw Melly's statement, just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life, as a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
Because they would thereafter show the federal authorities the evidence from the first trial that demonstrated Melly was not present when the crime happened. GPS data shows that WW Melly exited the Jeep they were riding in and was seen hiding in a bush and running down a street.
That would be the part of him saying that someone just shut the car up and was trying to shoot them. So I asked him if he was okay, where he was, and he's like, there's a car coming behind him, like hiding. He was like, there's some, yeah. He's like, yeah, there's some. I think they're still out here or something. So I'm like, are you okay? He's like, I'm okay. I said, well, where are Sack and Juvie? And he said, I don't know if they're in the car. I think they're...
Then, once it was proven that no firearm had ever been found during the first trial, Melly's lawyers, would show the new court this important piece of evidence to prove that it was a real drive-by.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which firearm I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what was used.
Okay.
A firearm would have been taken by the guilty party if there had been a true drive-by, so it was never found. Subsequently, the prosecution would present their defense and arguments in favor of his extended detention. If you have more convincing evidence, please let me know in the comments, as the feds are starting with evidence from Melly's phone. Hours after the incident, he texted his confession to the crime. A firearm would have been taken by the guilty party if there had been a true drive-by, so it was never found. Subsequently, the prosecution would present their defense and arguments in favor of his extended detention. If you have more convincing evidence, please let me know in the comments, as the feds are starting with evidence from Melly's phone. Hours after the incident, he texted his confession to the crime.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly account says what?
After that, SHHHH.
Furthermore, Melly's phone was found to include a saved video from someone's Facebook Live that showed Melly and Bortland's reaction to the crime just 6 hours after it was caused.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
Appearing completely unconcerned with the loss of their two best friends. But then a new and fascinating piece of information would come to light from a rebellious OBLAC member. He revealed that YW Melly's failure to pay the other YNW co-workers was the driving force for the crime.
Did Vaughn really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Vaughn was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? Walk the bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around?
It was Melly's responsibility to inform King Vaughn of this secret. Sadly, Vaughn shared it with OBLAC members before he passed away. The fact that YNW is a legally recognized LLC allowed Melly and Bortland to profit from live performances, apparel sales, and song drops. Sakasa and Juvie allegedly asked for a bank account transfer once the money was moved to the YW company's bank account. Although they made no attempt, they kept a percentage of the money. But you might be curious about how much money YW Melly's musical career has left over. Recently, it went viral when YW Melly's mother disclosed that she made a fan account during his trial. Had to be commented on by DJ academics because it was so well liked online.
So YNW Melly's mom has announced that she's gonna be starting her own. And I gotta be honest with y'all, man, like, this is perplexing. The reason why it's perplexing is because I can't understand why she's doing this. Your son is fighting for his life. How much, you know, there's certain mothers in hip hop, and you probably could name a few, I won't name all of them, that I feel like their son became stars, but they also wanted to be stars as well. Blueface's mom is one of them. The situation between Melly's mom and Melly, I always thought was interesting, but I never thought she'd be doing this. If you're wondering if she's doing this for money, this can't be a money play. Like, no way, no how.
Social media would contest DJ Academic's claim that money has no role in it. In a serious interview with Jamie King and Adam B. Slime 2 years ago, Adam was shown telling Melly's mother that he thinks he has spent a lot of money on lawyers. She sat back and laughed as his brother being chastised him for his stupid expenses.
I would assume that he spent a lot of money on lawyers. Like an amount that would probably...
That kid spent a lot of money on a lot of things that shouldn't have been spent on.
Really? Like what else?
And cars, jewelry. And he's not even out to wear the jewelry. I'm like, why are you buying jewelry and you're not here to wear the jewelry?
No, definitely lawyers are probably the best thing you can spend
That's
money
what
on.
bro. But he's good with lawyers, bro. Like, money ain't an issue for lawyers. Like, he's fine, but it's just like, there was a lot of stuff that should have went to lawyers that he didn't spend on lawyers. And I'm like, bro. And now it's like, he don't even want to chain no more.